welcome to Turn the Page, the official podcast of the Syosset Public Library.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Turn the Page. I am your host, Jen, and today I am joined by a writer, but also somebody who wears many hats, who has done many fascinating things. And I am so excited to talk about this gorgeous, gorgeous book. So, welcome. Could I ask you to introduce yourself and your book, please?
Yes, absolutely. I am Nikki Walton. I am a best-selling author, NAACP Image Award nominated podcaster and author. I'm a licensed psychotherapist. I've done lots of television, but mostly I am love, appearing as these things. And my new book is called Wake Up to Love and is available everywhere, Amazon, Barnes& and Noble, everywhere where books are sold.
That's a lovely segue into the subject of the book. It is such a like just a warm, nourishing hug of a book. Before we get into it itself, could you tell us just a little bit about your career and your journey to podcasting and ultimately this book? What led to this project in particular?
Yeah, my journey started when I was like 5. I used like my earliest childhood memories are of not being able to sleep at night, being afraid of like what comes after life, like what is death? Is it like this darkness that I'm afraid of in my bedroom? And those questions drove me into the new age aisle at the library, like by the age of 10. So I'm already reading these things, and I felt like if I could figure out what comes next, I wouldn't be so afraid in this moment. And those studies took me into Buddhism. I was born and raised Catholic, but my studies took me into Buddhism, into Hinduism, into many different traditions, but they all kept coming back to the same piece. Like I went all around the world to all these ashrams and temples and churches and basilicas, and I'd find the same love everywhere I went. But then I started noticing, oh, it's on the plane too. Oh, and it's at the grocery store, and it's in the car. It's here. Wherever I am or appear to be, it's here. And it's just a matter of in that moment, waking up to that instead of being lost. And I set up when I said that. So wherever you are right now, sit up. It's like you sit up into it. And up here, it's quiet. And as soon as it gets quiet inside, as soon as you get still inside, it begins to announce itself. But usually we're hunched over and we're lost in thought and in stress. But you can do little tweaks with your body, using it like an antenna for the divine. You can make small little pointers to yourself, like little thoughts that can come in and wake you back up to this. And that's essentially what I started sharing on a podcast called Good Mornings with Curly Nikki. Every day for the last 3 years, I wake up and I record, and it's like 5 to 10 minutes. I have to wait though, because it's like an hour that I have to record and then edit down to those 10 minutes. I wait for the words to come, for love to speak. And it shares these beautiful practices. And Wake Up to Love, the book, condenses 1,500 episodes into the 52 best and most powerful ones, the most effective ones, with the eventual goal of you not needing a practice anymore. Like after you keep jumping back into the room with love over and over again, you start noticing, oh, I don't have to leave. I leave. But if I just stay, then we're good. And that's what I'm hoping everybody will be able to wake up to it and not fall back asleep.
Mm, that's so beautiful. And I really love the message about, um, you use a lot of words very intentionally with capital letters to sort of
Yeah.
denote their deep, deep meaning about cultivating silence and presence and connection. And so can you talk a little bit about um, what it means to you to practice divine love? And I love that, that includes a very expansive and inclusive notion because you mentioned your own Catholic upbringing, but you draw on a complete global assortment of traditions. So
Absolutely.
yeah, can you talk about that?
Yeah, so originally, when I became aware of this love through hours and hours of meditation every day for like more than a couple of years, I began noticing that there wasn't two. There wasn't me aware of love. And that's what it feels like in the beginning. Like it's Jen becoming aware of a silence, becoming aware of love. But after you practice it long enough, you're like, I am the love. And Nikki's sitting in it. Jen is sitting in it. And so once you find it here, then you start feeling it, seeing it everywhere. And so now when I see you, I see your form, but I'm more aware of the Christ love, this invisible one that is here always, everywhere. And as long as I'm connected with and aware of that, then our interaction is more powerful and we're feeding each other. We are being light to each other. And you listening right now, every moment, seeming moment in your life has brought you to this one where you're hearing this message and the seed is being planted for you now to encounter yourself, capital S, in every person you meet, not to meet persons, but to see love appearing as a person. Oh, that's love appearing as Jen. That's love appearing as so and so. And then love appearing as your boss. That's a different way to interact with your boss. Love appearing as my kid that needs a juice and this and that and that, like all the things. You're giving juice to God, God appearing as your kid, and so it just completely changes everything. You hold everything in love. You look at everything from love. It's like the love is looking and the love is hearing and the love is breathing and it's dynamic and it's beautiful and it's not tied to any one religion. You don't have to be a certain faith to be this. And my soul is beyond Catholicism and Hinduism. This body loves to go, though, to Hindu temples and Catholic churches, but recognizing that this is beyond all of that is my purpose in pointing that out.
Mm. Could you talk a little bit about how you developed your phases? Because you split up the practices you've cultivated into several phases. And what I really love about them is that you include like passive contemplation and prayer, meditation, all these practices that are about like listening, but there are also very active elements about service and involvement and connecting. So could you talk about how you developed these practices?
Yes, yes. So you initially have to go inward, and that's going to look like you detaching a bit from everything, And even though you're still going on about your daily life and your responsibilities, everything gets taken care of. You are retreating as often as possible because it's easiest to become aware of yourself, capital S, this love in silence, in aloneness, in the stillness. But then once it starts to seemingly stabilize, once you become very stable as that, you're able to start recognizing it out here. And then it's a natural progression. You have to be of service. You start serving everyone because you know them as yourself. Jesus taught that we're supposed to treat and love others as ourselves. And it happens. It's not something, I mean, I share it in the book in like a way that I'm teaching, but it happens. You want to help because there's nothing else to do. There's nothing else to do but be of service. So it's just a natural progression.
Hmm. That's so lovely. And, there was one phrase that really took me in the book that I spent a lot of time sort of chewing over in my own head. And that was, to loosely paraphrase, looking for God in every pair of eyes. And that's such a powerful message, regardless of who or what you believe in for these times. And so could you talk a little bit about, cultivating that sort of like, um, compassion that is at once compassion for the other and yourself?
Exactly, exactly. Yesterday I just left a cafe and I brought with me a cup of water. They had like little plastic cups and I filled it up with this beautiful strawberry cucumber water, put it in the cup holder, and I drove to this park near where my daughter gets off the bus. And I had like 20 minutes to kill. And I get out of the car right next to a dumpster and there was someone, they were crouched over digging through the bottom of it and I couldn't see if it was male or female. I didn't know if they, like what their mental state was, but I could feel it in my spirit, like they are here for me, I am here for them. And so as soon as I got out of the car, they looked up and it was a woman and I saw her eyes immediately, like blue eyes. We stared through each other and it was not good human looking at good human, like nice human, want to be helpful human looking at a human that may be in need of help. It was love, love, and instantly. And it used to take me a while to get to that recognition. I'd have to stand with the person for a while and let the stillness hit me and let grace hit me. And then finally I'd recognize, oh, that's right. Love appearing as, but it was instantaneous. And I said, "Are you thirsty?" And she said, "Yes, I am." I said, "I have water, but it's not in a closed container." And she wanted it. She received it from me. We talked. I had a rosary. I gave her the rosary, and it was a beautiful meeting. And so it's just, if you practice long enough, you don't have to there's no longer this gap, this period where it's like, I'm being a good human, I'm doing my duty. It becomes absolutely beyond and transcendent. It is just love meeting love everywhere you go all the time.
That's so beautiful. And, this conversation has been so nourishing, even though it was so brief. And I really appreciate you making the time to talk to us. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
What is next for you? Are you writing anything else at the moment or?
The podcast keeps me very busy. I am constantly on, like every single morning at 5 a.m. I'm recording. 4:44 a.m. I'm doing a live stream. 6 p.m. I'm doing a live stream now on Instagram. So it comes through me differently all the time. And writing happens after the speaking happens. So it's like my process is sitting down and letting love speak, and then that becomes words on paper.
Excellent. All right. Well, then that's, a lot of stuff that we can ask our listeners to check out. Please check out Wake Up to Love. It is so, so beautiful, and it will be an absolutely gorgeous holiday present for anyone you love.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
No problem. Okay, it is now time to close this chapter. Goodbye.
It's time to close this chapter of Turn the Page. Join us for the next episode.